Welcome, guys and girls. This is the first episode of How Not to K-Pop. I'm Sean. I've got my boy Henry joining me. Say hi.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
I called you my boy, which seems to be like you're my boyfriend. You're not. You're just my best friend.
Yeah, that's I didn't want to say anything because I was worried that it might hurt your feelings. I don't know what your girlfriend would say, but hey. Continue.
And we've been doing radio for many years and covering K-pop for many years, haven't we? What was it? 2012 you joined?
2013, I believe. At the end of 2013, I
Right.
joined.
Right, and I
Yeah.
joined not too long after, and yeah, we just we hit it off, and we both love K-pop, and so now we're doing this awesome podcast covering all things K-pop.
So again, when Sean said we hit it off, he doesn't mean we got together and got close. It means we our skills in radio with K-pop was really good. It was fun. It was exciting. People loved it. We loved it, and now we're taking it onto another level, doing a little bit of our own podcast of it.
Yeah, we have fun, and today is a group full of fun, full of life, or are they? The group we're covering today is Ace of Angels, AOA, as they're known by everyone. I don't know a single person that's actually come up to me and gone, "Do you know Ace of Angels?" It's always AOA.
Yeah. That's that's how they market themselves now. A lot of groups are pretty much going with initials, and
Yeah, initials are hot.
yeah.
Even their
NCT.
entertainment, even the company they're under, FNC Entertainment, FNC.
What does FNC stand for?
I think it stands for, FNC, what's wrong with you? So they just hate the letter C.
Right, but back to Ace of Angels.
Yes, AOA, they were an 8-member group, believe it or not, and right now they're down to 4 members. So we can think of it that they've been halved, basically.
Yeah, they started back in, oh Jesus, when did they start?
It was 2011-ish, like that's when teasers were coming, and then like 2012 official, yeah.
Debut in 2012, the same year of like K-pop groups like EXO, I believe.
Oh wow, yeah.
No, EXO was 2012 as well.
No, it's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But Ace of Angels 2012, 8 members, well, 7 members plus 1.
Right, because Sohyun, Yuna, Chanmi, Hyejong, Jimin, Choa, and Minna are angels, and then there's this one half angel that's just sort of along for the ride called Yeokyung.
Yes, she's the half angel. She's the plus 1, so the others are the 7. I guess they would actually consist of, they'd be the main group. And Yeokyung, she technically would be part of the subunit, AOA Black.
Yeah, in a way, but in general, to begin with, they were really going for this band concept where,
Yes.
girls playing guitars, basically, which is awesome, like, super cool concept, just the songs weren't really that good, so I much prefer, I guess you'd call it the second half of their career, sort of 2013 onwards.
Second half of their career, that's more like a year after their debut.
I guess FNC dropped it quick, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like once the instrument music, the pop rock and stuff like that started to die down, AOA had to change from that scene, the band scene, to pop music, which a lot of girl groups were doing at the time.
And credit to them, they sort of stuck out a little bit among the sea of pop music that's always coming out in Korea. AOA managed to cement themselves as legends, I'd argue, right now, and with amazing songs, basically. Like, their songs were popping. Confused, Heart Attack, bangers.
Like, one of the songs that they released later on, Excuse Me, while the song itself wasn't as, like, the best, I just like, there's a certain dance they do during the chorus. It just feels so nice, especially with the clothes that they wear for it. It's just so fitting.
Yeah, their visuals in general are fitting. Yes, precisely.
I mean, like, what, Heart Attack, they debuted at the top of several charts after its release, and it ended up becoming one of the most downloaded songs in. This is 2015.
Yeah, it got them a music show win as well, which is
Mhm.
pretty coveted. It's pretty serious when you win a show like Music Bank or M Countdown or Inkigai. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
a big deal. And it wasn't my favorite song, but it was great to see them get number one at the time. That was super deserved. I guess
Yes.
my favorite would be Confused, personally. That was where it started for
Mm.
me. And yeah, funnily enough, I had joined the radio not that long ago. And it was one of those first songs. So in a way, AOA to me personally almost feel like one of those earlier groups on my journey into this genre overall.
Mm. Yeah, I think for me, because I remember Confused, and I was like, "Ooh, did you see the way they went down on their leg and that right leg was outstretched?" That was stunning. You know,
It
it
is.
reminded me of another girl group, Girls' Generation, and when they did the dance for Genie,
Oh, of
dance version.
course.
Yeah, that
Yes.
the legs. I believe it's because of that dance from Girls' Generation that a lot of girl groups started wearing more shorts
I
with
feel
showing off the
Brown Eyed
legs.
Girls with that abracadabra dance as
That's
well. I
right.
feel
That's
like
right.
that definitely influenced the dance moves, the choreography. Yeah, for
Yeah. So
sure.
AOA's Confused is another good example of doing something that worked, and it worked.
Yeah, but it didn't always work for AOA. Like, they may be called angels, but oh boy, there is evidence to suggest otherwise. They've had so many controversies over the years, and one very recently, which we will get to. But we're also talking about, speaking of dances, one that was so hot it got banned. It's also going to cover a little bit about them not quite knowing the history of Korea. And then we're going to cover all the downfall, all the fallout that happened most recently. Choa, Minna, Jimin. Some of you may know, some of you may not. We're here to fill you in and give our 2 cents because that's what we do.
That's what we do. We've been doing it for years. Not that we've been filling people in about AOA for years. That's very stalkerish.
Yeah,
That's
we're
not.
not grabbing people on the street. Hey, you, AOA.
Yeah, but like talking about songs, for example, after Confused, Miniskirt came in, and that was also a great hit. But there was something about it that was, how do you say it? Visually striking.
It was sexy, sexy overload. My brain's overloading just thinking about it.
I took you on the script. You wrote line to next topic, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna take that line.
It's a good one. Let's steal
That's
it.
a good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Miniskirt, great, great. It was a great song, very sexy. But there was one thing that made it step the line, over the line.
Yeah,
What was it, Sean?
well, yeah, I guess below the line because they unzipped.
More above the
They
line.
went they unzipped below the belt, below the line. And it is I've seen that version cuz they were allowed to perform it once or twice
Yes.
before it got banned. And it's sexy without
Okay.
doubt.
So Miniskirt is the song that they released after Confused. The reason why it got banned, not necessarily the song and not necessarily the dance itself, but more in line because of the clothing they wore when they did the dance move, the specific dance move. Basically, they would lift their no, they would actually unzip the side of their skirt to allow it to open up more. And the idea technically is, sure, it looks sexy, but also allows them to do more moves comfortably as they dance. That's technically why a lot of dresses have that opening.
What they were wearing were pencil skirts and
Yes,
they had a secretary kind of look going on, an office lady look.
that's right.
And so, with clothes that tight, they're not functional. They're not for dancing. Office ladies aren't dancing in those clothes, like a blouse and
That's
pencil
right.
skirt. So, in that practical sense, it really makes a lot of sense that they would unzip at that point, because then they'd proceed to bend down and shake their hips and
Yeah, right. Now that's give it a look. Miniskirt. Search it up. AOA. But basically, after unzipping that part so they can do the moves better, more comfortably. Remember, miniskirt's meant to be sexy. So the implicit nature of that, or I guess kind of explicit, shows that it went from sexy to sexual, and right there and then was when it was decided that's going to get banned. That's
And
too sexual.
fair enough. Shows such as Inkigayo, Music Bank, they are aired a little bit like old shows in Australia, like Countdown. They're aired for families. It's family viewing. It's prime time, 7:30, for example. I think it's fairly obvious this time round, and not that bad that they did ban this particular dance move, because there's kids.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, K-pop in general is technically geared towards kids anyway. I mean, and AOA is not the only group to do that. I'm sure if you ask the older generation of people who used to listen to K-pop, like the generation before me, for example, my sister, they had sexy stuff. And during that period, it was still, I guess, being geared or marketed towards those of a younger age. Not like 5 or 10, but more like, in high school. Getting into early high
Okay. So you've just had dinner, let's say, and you've had it with your sister, and now you're sitting down in front of the TV to watch miniskirt. Like, would you not get embarrassed seeing that move in particular, but that dance in general?
Well, my sister and I would have an understanding of K-pop. That's different. If I was to watch it with my parents, like you said, that's a bit weird. That's very weird.
Like, it's uncomfortable. It would be like it's like any movie with a sex scene. We've all been there. A movie has a sex scene in it, and you've decided to watch this particular movie with your mum for Mother's Day, or your dad, or you're just chilling on a Friday night, movies on TV. Mm-hmm. The sex scene is without doubt the most awkward, uncomfortable moment in any Friday night, Saturday night family time.
That's why Game of Thrones was a bad idea to start. But yeah, I agree. The miniskirt, that move, really crossed that line. Well, to me, it didn't cross the line because, come on, if you watch it, again, miniskirt, AOA, YouTube it if you can, you watch that and you'll be like, that's sexual? That's nothing. You watch other groups from... For example, After School, there's a girl group called After School with the song First Love. They pole dance, okay?
Yeah, and it came out about a year or two before Miniskirt. 2013 was First Love, 2014 was Miniskirt, and that's so provocative, First Love. They're dancing on poles, at least in Korea. That's like, whoa, because Korea's a little bit conservative, eh? Like,
yeah, very conservative. Rainbow, another girl group, they lifted their shirt up to show their abs, actually. But that was still deemed too much because it was implying that they were revealing their body. That's what it implied. And again, that was just too much. No.
And so the way...
show abs.
Cannot show, no showing.
No, only men's abs. Big six-pack.
And it's even kind of embarrassing they had to change it, because the solution they came up with was almost like playing air guitar. They would do the move, as in they're doing the same motion with their hand of unzipping, but there's no zip they're grabbing and unzipping. It's a bit lame. The censored version, lame.
It's lame. It makes no... I guess if you've seen the original, and then after you watch the censored, quote-unquote, versions, then you can understand. But if you don't watch it, you might not necessarily get it.
Yeah, you might not even... Right, you might not like it.
You might not get it until you watch it 10 more times and you realize, oh, they're unzipping their dress. Which is great, by the way. I love it. I thought it was a really great touch. You know, miniskirt. And it was good. It was awesome. I love it. Sure. So...
I think girl groups shouldn't be afraid to push that kind of innocent hotness like Choa, because there's definitely a market for it. We love it, don't we, Henry? Like,
oh, I love it.
Let's get more sexiness with just that little bit of cuteness sprinkled on top. Let's do it. Every group, all of you, listen, take notes.
Right. I don't need to take notes. I know the name of the song. It's called Miniskirt.
Oh, you haven't forgotten? Because Miniskirt is an important piece of AOA history, for sure. No one can forget it, but Sohyun and Jimin, when it comes to Korean history...
Oh,
They
Jesus.
they forget. These segues are working. I enjoy a good segue, and I think that was B minus. I'm gonna B
You-
minus that segue.
I mean, it's unfortunate we can't play a portion of Miniskirt by AOA just to put it between.
Oh come on, man! It's 21st
Like-
century. Everyone's on their phones. They can just pause, look it up, then come back
All right,
to us
so,
talking history. Yep, here we go. History on May
All right.
10th. AOA. We're doing a variety show called Channel AOA. Generally, with variety shows, there's a variety of challenges that everyone has to do, and it's always quite funny because someone is just completely hopeless. And in this particular one, they were given a board with pictures of important historical figures, and they had to match them with the correct names. It's a little bit like Guess Who in a way, or Pictionary. And the two girls involved, Sohyun
Yes.
and Jimin,
yes.
they were somewhat successful. They were able to match certain figures, Kim Gu, Shin Sam-dong, and they got stuck on a very, very, very famous person, An Jung-gun.
Okay. Come on. Go on. I
Oh,
don't
so
know these
you
people.
haven't heard? You haven't heard of
No.
An Jung-gun?
No.
Okay, good. I haven't either.
Please go on. Continue to fill me in so I have an
Now-
idea what the hell this segment's about.
Well, the interesting thing is, Korea kind of flipped. Like, some people were like, "Oh my gosh, how do they not know that?" And the girls kind of got in a bit of hot stew, a bit of hot water.
I can understand it. It's not really a big deal, and I mean, unless they were meant to represent, like they were leaders of South Korean history, then it would be good to have an idea, have a basic knowledge of the history. But
Yeah, but
even then,
AOA
what would it
doesn't stand for Ace of Academics. You know, they're not trying to have 200 IQs and know every person throughout history under the sun.
Yeah.
And even people of, well, let's assume average intelligence, me and you.
How dare you? How dare you?
What do we know about history?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what
Oh,
do
well,
you know? Genius
well-
Henry?
Well,
Well, thing is, I'll ask you about K-pop, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that guy. Oh yeah, he had that big hit back then. Yeah." So your brain is just filled with more important matters. Yeah.
yes, that's correct. My history is to do with Chua. Anyway, so-
But
no,
Abraham
I-
Lincoln, like, who cares?
Look, man, history was not my best subject. My best subject was math, and that was until year 10. After that, I didn't have any best subjects.
Speaking of math, we have some fire facts. We have 3 that I'm just going to power through super
3?
quickly.
Okay.
Yep. Are you ready for this? Okay.
All right, hit me.
Fact.
Yeah.
Choa left AOA in 2017.
You don't have. You can't. You should not remind me of that. She was. Chua was probably the one reason. When I think back about it, she'd be the one reason I listened to AOA. Here's the interesting thing: Chua was not the first girl that caught my attention. Actually, when I first saw Chua, this was during Confused, and during dance practice for Confused, she had longer hair, and it looked like she had a lot of makeup on, like a lot more than what she did later on.
You weren't feeling it.
Yeah, before Choa, I was actually leaning towards another girl, Mina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
fact
lucky
number
you.
2.
Lucky you. The second fact is she also left AOA. Minna left AOA in 2019. Fact.
Damn it. Well, look, from Mina, I then went to Choa, like, probably half a year later. So, half a year later that. So, I was with Choa. Choa was the one. When Choa left, I was sad. When Mina left, I was sad too, but Choa really broke it for me. I tried to listen. It was after Choa left, they released Bingle Bangle, and it just wasn't right, you know?
Yeah, it was such a dark period because not only do they have members leave, they don't really recover. They just release kind of crappy songs. It's like, oh man, like, this sucks.
Well, Choa left because of depression, insomnia as well, that she's been suffering for a while, and she's been taking medication for it. There was another one where apparently she had a boyfriend.
seemed to be just a rumor.
Yes.
Nothing was confirmed as far as I'm aware. And look, the rumor mill in K-pop, it's huge. Rumors everywhere, so let it be, I guess.
And then for Mina, she just decided not to renew her contract when it
No,
was time.
bro, she left. She left. Come on. Didn't renew contract. At this time, AOA still pretty big. Of course, she would renew her contract if things were peachy. Things were not peachy.
Well, what I read, there wasn't actually a lot of information at the time. But they did say she wanted to pursue, other activities like acting. That's one of the activities that she wanted to get better at.
Well, if she's really good at acting, maybe she was acting about wanting to act. Whoa, maybe there's more to this story.
You're an idiot, Sean. You're an idiot.
And sure enough, a year later, the story unfolded. It revealed itself, Henry, because it was found
There's more to this? What?
a big bad member, she's actually one of the smallest members of the group,
Right.
Mina revealed in a lengthy essay of a post. Don't you love essays, Henry? They're scary when you receive them in text messages, right? There is nothing worse than opening up your phone and there's just a wall of text. You're like, oh boy, what have I done? What's this about?
First of all, I don't like sending like single word answers as text or like short 5-word lines and like multiple text messages of that. That's a waste. That's a waste.
But we're not trying to write the Constitution. Like, come on, we don't keep it to 200 words max. Absolute max.
So what's going on here? What's going on? Something about
so Mina
is this related to Mina?
On Instagram, best source for news, isn't it, Henry? It's where we find out everything.
Probably a personal Instagram account, yeah?
And reveals that her experience at AOA, no good. Very bad. So she is a good actor, because, man, you watch the variety and she seems so happy.
I agree. What are you saying? Oh, okay, I see. You're talking about the Jimin bullying scandal.
That's right. In a second, follow-up response, she basically said, Jimin was putting me through absolute duress. Bullying me, tormenting, and it really did not look good for Jimin.
Yeah, so what's specifically written, we took this from Sumpi as well. So on July 3rd, Mina took to her personal Instagram account and posted a screenshot of someone sending her a message using profanity and telling her to get lost. So on the Sumpi website, you can read Mina's full post, but be warned, there are discussions of suicide and self-harm. So what Sean has said there is, that's heavy, okay?
Super heavy. And thankfully, the response from most people was support. We're looking out for you, be strong, Mina. And that's really great to see. That was pretty powerful.
For sure. I mean, even though it's been months since July, it's September now. I still recommend, just send a bit of love her way anyway, because you never know.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then we turn to Jimin, and the spotlight kind of gets shone on her. Basically, she released a response saying she's sorry. Now, she didn't straight up admit it at all, but she did sort of admit that there are times where she may have been a difficult person to be around kind of words. I sort of take that, this is just my opinion, as almost saying, well, yeah, I was a bit of a bully.
Yeah.
There were times where she maybe lost patience. There were times where she did act out. So
now,
that's extra not good. We didn't want Mina's words to be confirmed, but Jimin pretty much confirmed it.
And not just that, but Jimin's the leader of AOA.
She's in that position of power, so clearly she was a little bit abusing her role, and it went up, as these things often do. If your company culture is pretty bad, you're going to have people become bad just by being employed by you because your culture is such.
Well, who else was bullying Mina? What the hell?
Good point.
What? I asked you, man. Answer me. I'm sure people who are listening right now want to know. All right.
Oh yeah. Let me just get Sohyun on speed dial. I'll ask her. Yeah.
We thought Mina left because she wanted to pursue acting and other things, and suddenly there's bullying. Suddenly she left because another reason is that she was being bullied by the leader of AOA. And there are other things as well. For example, from what I'm reading from a lot of the things are from Sunbi. Wow. You have Chanmi and Sohyun who witness the bullying but choose not to do anything. They choose not to do anything about it, and they just let it happen.
Once again, it's the company culture. Like, if FNC, because the managers and the staff around AOA would have seen this, and if FNC basically had, whether directly or indirectly, a policy of, just get on with it, don't talk about it, it's fine, like, get over it, that's not good. And it seems to me, very much after hearing that that's the case here. In my opinion, like, FNC are just as much in the wrong as Jimin.
Yeah, well, if your company isn't doing good and allowing this, man, what kind of hey, wait, what happened to you?
Yeah. Why'd they end up with this particular company, with this particular culture? It was their unraveling. It had such an effect. I can't listen to them now, really. I can't just go back and listen to Confused or Miniskirt as easily as I could have, not knowing this.
Oh, mate. I have... It's hard enough listening to Bingle Bangle without Toa, okay?
And that's a bit of an ear grate, like grating on the ears.
I can watch the old AOA, not necessarily music videos, but all the dance practices. I love the dance practices, but knowing the scandal, especially the bullying scandal, is just it makes it difficult. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It makes it very difficult and hard to not think about it. So when I watch it, I feel tormented. Like, it's Toa, but at the same time, bullying scandal. But Toa and bullying scandal. I have a really hard time, man.
It's poisoned the well. Yeah.
Yes.
One could say these angels have now become devils. Is that
Ace
cool?
of Devils.
Yeah, cool line. Yeah.
Devil May Cry.
So looking back,
they cry.
we're in 2020 now.
Yeah.
AOA, are they still even a thing?
Are they still even a thing?
Like,
How
in
many
your
members are
world,
left?
in your
How many
world,
members are left?
there's four. There's 4 members.
So that's Sohyun. Who else? Yuna, Chanmi.
Okay, let me put it another way. Imagine if One Direction was now just Zayn and Harry.
They'd be called One Direction, Two-Way Street. I don't know. I don't listen to One Direction.
What I'm saying is, it's a skeleton crew now.
Yeah, okay.
It is the bare bones. So, yes, they can still release songs, but is it the same experience?
I think they can still release songs. I mean, look, if you think about it, the bully's gone. So mean. The bully's gone. They have a new leader. I remember you kept saying that Sohyun should be leader. I say no.
No, now she is, so yeah.
Well, first off, she was one of the people who stood by and let the leader bully Mina. So I don't think Sohyun deserves to be the leader of this current AOA, Sean.
Hey, look.
Take that.
In a yes or no scenario, is Sohyun a bully? No. Is Jimin a bully? Yes. With what we know right now.
Yeah.
Well, then,
true.
Can Sohyun be a leader? Yes. Would she be pretty good at it? Yes. I reckon she would be.
Why do you think Sohyun would be a good leader?
Because I think she's quite sociable, and I think she's quite good in teams, going off her variety. Like, there was one variety show where they went to an island nation and sort of lived off the land, and I noticed watching that she had good teamwork. And she had other elements to her personality. She's not that introverted. She's fairly extroverted from what I can gather, from what I've seen. And so that makes her a good leader.
Well, how do you think AOA will be with Sohyun's leadership compared to Jimin? And the fact that it's currently 4 members.
That's irrelevant. It's been 8 years now, man. Like, they old.
So?
Well, it's new rules, new era.
Super Junior's been around for how long? EXO's still around. They debuted at the same time.
How many other girl groups are there now? There's so many others that are taking our attention. Twice.
Yeah, because men can't get enough of women.
CLC.
And women can't get enough of women.
Mamamoo. There's other groups now, and some of these are becoming legends in their own right, like Mamamoo reaching legend status and all of that. So, you know what? AOA, I think you gotta sleep.
Wait.
I think it's time to pack up.
Ah, nah. I think AOA still has a little bit they can go with. They have a little bit. Because
I know exactly where you mean, where they've got that little bit, and yeah, I get it. I get it. You're happy to keep seeing the Wiggling.
Right. Well, first off, Toa's back on YouTube. Toa, no, not back. She's got a new YouTube channel.
Whoa!
She started YouTube.
That's
And,
cool.
you know, that's something that AOA could do and actually do their own YouTube channel. They don't have to be following what other K-pop idols do and try to market themselves in that way anymore. They don't have to. With the 8 years that they have, they're experienced. They may be 4 members, but on the internet, it won't matter that much. And it's also one of the most direct ways to get in contact with people constantly. The internet. YouTube, for example. Or Twitch. Whatever they use. But Toa, that's what I want to say. She started a new YouTube channel by covering Maroon 5's Girls Like You. Or Girl Like You.
I don't really listen to Maroon 5 now. As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty much just Adam Levine anyway. Like, they're a band, but all I hear is electronic music when I listen to them, so...
But Toa's back. That's the important thing for me.
Yeah, and I imagine her voice is amazing for that particular Maroon 5 song.
If Toa can come back, then, you know, AOA can still remain relevant. It's just not the same way as before, when they were 7 members. It'll be a different take.
Not the same way, you mean, yeah, like less. Like, not at all. Like,
it'll
they
be
should
a branching
sleep.
path, my friend. It'll be a branching path. Don't make me talk about Kara. There'll be a branching path. Okay. And there is still a way for stuff like that to happen. Actually, I would love for Toa and Mina to do something together on Toa's YouTube channel. I think
that would be epic.
Yeah, I think that would be wonderful. That's what I want. Choa just started. I believe her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel opened like a few days ago.
Yeah, and she's actually employed. She's with a new company now, and so she is still an artist that's active. She hasn't retired or anything, and that's so impressive because depression's a tough journey, like that she's been on to get through it and push through. That's amazing that she's back to creating art. That's really cool.
I genuinely thought it was a channel she made herself with her own camera. Stuff like that. I didn't know she was back with a company, man. You know, I didn't know that. Well, there goes AOA's relevance. Oh, sorry, mate. Gotta get Choa back.
Choa forever. This is the end now, and we're gonna put AOA to rest ourselves, put our voices to rest, and we really ended that on Choa, a Choa note, not a high note, not a low note, but Choa.
I'm just glad Choa's back. All right. It sucks that one of the last things that we talk about in regards to AOA, other than the good thing being Choa being back, but the bad thing is the fact that with the Jimin bullying, you know, Mina leaving, and only finding out like a year or two later that she left because of such a huge problem.
Right, like we really didn't know any better. We figured, you know, contract ending, and we figured, you know, just her sorting some personal stuff out. But it definitely must have been a little bit Jimin. Like, Jimin would have had this effect on the whole group, because especially since other members witnessed this behavior that's very clearly inappropriate. So it's heavy stuff, and I kind of am impressed that AOA was still able to participate in Variety well and release good songs. That's sort of impressive that they pushed through that kind of treatment. Yeah.
You look back at the scandals we talk about, like the miniskirt dance ban. It's just the choreographer who just decided, or the person who did the dressing, I guess, who decided the clothes that they would wear, and I guess as well the choreographer who decided to add that move in. Whereas in the West over here, doing that move, that's normal, man. People do it in public, I guess. You've got the history fail that we talked about. Sohyun and Jimin not knowing. I hate this question. Not knowing important figures, all right?
Yeah, they just messed up a historical figure. Like, I we've all been in that situation where it ends up being a little bit embarrassing because it's in the public eye. Like, I don't even like getting a question wrong in a class of 10. Like, they got it wrong on TV.
Yeah, so Musical Dance Band, Sohyun Jimin, History Fail, those are just, accidents. Mistakes, accidents. Anyone can make an accident and you can recover from that easily. Choa leaving because of personal issues, right? That's to herself, like the depression, insomnia, and whatnot. Again, there have been cases, of people leaving for such issues, health issues. Mina leaving because her contract ended and decided not to renew. One of the reasons was pursuing other activities. Later on, we realized there was more, which included, or if not being the biggest reason, Jimin bullying her. Okay, so it was a bad company culture, and you had members that either weren't helping or was just in on it. Or it's just Jimin. All right. So from the stuff that was just accidents and whatnot, or some basic personal issues that we can understand, especially given the nature of K-pop, suddenly the end of AOA, or sort of like the end of AOA's era, is the bullying scandal, and that's huge, and that sucks.
It's true.
Sucks.
I mean, I think it was a really good point that you made about mistakes are made, pro body's nerfed, as they say.
Okay.
It's an AOA.
Perfect. If no one got that, it's nobody's perfect. Sean's just being funny.
Yeah, I'm a smart. Come on, that was smart.
AOA, I'm sure there's something for them in the future. Whether AOA stays the same as AOA itself, they're using the name, maybe not. But with Choa back on YouTube, that's I believe that's a very positive thing, and possibly a new line for AOA to come back in another way version something.
Yeah,
but yeah,
AOA are like Terminator, they come back. They come back again, they come back again. They come back again when you don't even expect them to.
Yeah, great podcast, Sean. Yeah, love it. AOA, you just had to put one of my favorite girl groups into the first bloody episode.
And stay tuned, everyone. We're going to release more info, more deep dives, more awesome hilarity. We have so much to get through. I can't even begin to think what we're going to do next week, next month. It's so much to choose from. Do we talk about Big Bang? Do we talk about EXID? Do we talk about EXO? There's just so much, and it's all coming. And
anyway, my name's Henry.
I'm Sean. How Not to K-Pop.
This has been How Not to K-Pop. We just did AOA. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all in the next episode. See ya.